Young and the Restless fans, happy Friday, TGIF, and I hope you're having a fantabulous one. Yeah, we got to dive into this whirlwind of tea, scheming, and a heavy sprinkle of petty because Genoa City was serving up a full buffet today. You know what? I'm going to give you a few highlights and then we'll dive deep into this episode. We see a little bit of shade and mixed signals between Summer, Claire, and Kyle. We also had Nikki and Jack having a little powwow. We saw Victor throwing a little bit of shade at Kyle and Diane. And guess who got the upper hand? And guess who got played? Jack played Victor. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into this drama. So we start out over at the Abbott estate where Jack and Diane are basking in their shared victory like two villains who just stole Christmas. Now they brought up glissade behind Victor's back and are giddy about launching Jabot Classic, which, let's be honest, sounds like the name of a retro soda. Now Diane, ever the realist, throws in some cold water. Sure, they're living their best conniving couple fantasy, but let's not forget about the Abbott siblings still side-eyeing her harder than Summer side-eyes Claire. Now, Jack, however, is cautiously optimistic or maybe just stubborn. It's hard to tell when smugness is his resting face these days. Meanwhile, over at the Newman Ranch, Nikki's dropping wisdom bombs on Claire like a seasoned CEO slash matriarch who's seen it all. Now, she encourages Claire to soak up some business knowledge and step into her own power. But there's a twist. Claire's giving up her role as Harrison's babysitter to take a job working with Nikki. And because it's Genoa City, this innocent career move is bound to ruffle feathers, at least in Claire's head. Claire's nervous to break the news to Kyle because, I guess, why wouldn't she be? I mean, Nikki assures her that if Kyle truly cares about her, he'll support her. Spoiler alert, not everybody in Kyle's camp is going to be thrilled about this. But plot twist incoming, Claire's new job might put her dangerously close to Victor's games. Yikes. Now let's swing over to society where we got Kyle and Summer playing nice over breakfast talking about Harrison. But don't be fooled. Summer got her eye on Claire like a hawk circling a potential snack. Now Kyle is riding high on his return as Jabot co-CEO, spilling the beans about the great Abbott charade that was his parents' fake breakup. Now, Summer isn't buying Diane's redemption arc, and her patience with Kyle and rose-colored glasses is thinner than a Newman Enterprises alibi. Enter Victor, who interrupts their cozy moment with his usual brand of verbal sparring and smirking menace. Now, Kyle tells the mustache off in no uncertain terms, but Victor just chuckles like the cat that ate the canary. He knows about the Abbott drama and that he thinks that it's far from over and hints that Diane's house of cards is teetering and that she'll never change. After Victor walks off, Claire calls Kyle and asks if he could stop by Crimson Lights so she can talk to him. Now, as he get ready to leave, Diane shows up and asks if she can fill him in on Jabot business, but he got to go see Claire and say we can catch up later. After he leaves, she turns around and Victor tells her that her family will never be whole again. And she says that he may think he's won, but you struck out. Now, he tells her that her son isn't impressing anyone that matters. He knows that their whole vulgar display was a ruse. When she asked for a glissade, he knew the fix was in. That's why he gave her an empty shell. She dredges up his problems with his children, and he goads her by saying that it's only a matter of time before Jack and Kyle figure out who she is. And he advises her not to get too comfortable at home. So now over at Crimson Light, Summer and Claire face off, and the passive-aggressive energy is thick. You can cut it with a knife. Claire tried to break her news gently, but Summer's got a smile and dagger approach that's sharper than Nikki's cheekbones. Now, Claire insists that she'll always care about Harrison, but Summer practically accuses her of seeing the kid as just another bullet point for her resume. Now, Kyle arrived just in time to referee, and while he congratulates Claire on her new role, even though Summer dropped the bomb instead of Claire doing it herself, he also makes it clear that he is Team Claire all the way. Cue the awkward vibes as Summer watches them play the happy almost couple while trying to pretend that she's totally cool with it. Spoiler, she's not. Oh, and let's not forget Jordan, who's lurking in the background and clearly planning to stir her own pot of trouble. Genoa City doesn't sleep, and neither does the drama. So now Jack shows up to see Nikki and marvel how much the place feels like stepping back in time. Now, as much as he hates to, he have to give Victor credit for it. She was surprised he wanted to come over. He wanted to wish her well on her new role at Chancellor and assured Catherine to approve. Now, he hopes that she's aware of all that pressure that will put on her and the temptation that can make her feel. Now, she rarely thinks about taking a drink, but knows the desire is always there and she needs to deny its power. They know the latest fight with Victor wouldn't have happened if he hadn't taken such great risks to help her. Now, Jack assures her that it was worth it. Are you sure about that? Now, she's about to start the biggest adventure of her life and he wouldn't want to miss it. They have tea and she wishes this wasn't happening at the expense of peace. Now, he knows she's disappointed that he's reconciled with Diane. It just didn't make sense to her, and he says it's a little bit more complicated than you know. She gave Diane credit for reeling him back in. Now, Jack explains that whole public drama that you all saw was an act to expose Victor, your husband, to Kyle. And she had no idea that they were such good actors, no pun intended. Now, he admits that he may never forgive her husband for going after his son, and she hopes that he can for the sake of the friendship. And then, just when they got a little cozy, guess who come walking into the door? None other than who? The mustache Victor Newman. And he was definitely not happy to see Jack in his house with his wife. However, the tables turned when Jack dropped a bombshell on the mustache.
You're gonna knock him dead. Thank you. You finished? No, actually there was one other thing. It's about those divisions of Glissade that you sold on the cheap to undercut the company. You're gonna cry about that? Oh, quite the contrary. I wanted to thank you. For what? I bought them. Thank you for the discount.
Oh, poor Victor. He thought he had both Diane, Jack, and Kyle under his thumb. So not only did Kyle get the CEO position back over at Javo, the whole relationship with Kyle and his father is getting back on track. Diane and Jack never broke up, so they're still together. And the shell of a company, Glissade, that he gave Diane is now whole because Jack was smart enough to one-up him by having somebody else buy them pennies on the dollar on his behalf. That was a chess move. But hold on, Victor, you're not done yet. Somebody else is ready to checkmate you, none other than Ian Ward and Jordan. Okay, so there you have it. Yes, this episode was a masterclass in power play, snark, and simmering tension. Diane and Jack are riding high, but Victor's long game is in full swing. Or at least he thinks. Claire's career move has officially upset Summer. And yeah, her claws are out. And she's not about to let Claire waltz off with her happily ever after. Who's going to come out on top in this tangled web of lies, love, and revenge? Yeah, we got to stay tuned because Genoa City never disappoints. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more recaps. Until next time, keep the tea hot and the shade sharper.